Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And I'm starting something a little new today. We're having, and by the time this airs, this will be Brian Giles MTG T. This is the T in the MTG. And I'm looking to try to record at 8 a.m., which is traditionally tea time in merry old London, which is 4 p.m. And I'm going to do some discussions about magic. Now, today I had some thoughts this morning. I do some of my best thinking when I first wake up. And I think I've figured out what is driving Hasbro WotC to do the things they're doing. And why, how they're viewing the game versus how the players and or collectors view the game. Now, this morning it came to me. I got to thinking about how, and this has been mentioned several times by Blake Rasmussen and others on their videos about they view Magic cards as game pieces. So I got to thinking, what other types of things we see in the world that view things as game pieces? And this morning my mind drifted to McDonald's Monopoly game. Now let's parallel this with how Magic is. You have game pieces. It's different games, but you have game pieces. Some have some value to them or some prize associated with them. If you collect, a certain set or whatever, there's some value there. And there's always the one chase card, the Park Place, the Boardwalk. And I think this is how, because, they're bringing in people, from different, companies to run their business based on a business model. And business models are driven by algorithms and systems. And these algorithms are based on what worked for them and made them successful in their past job. This leads me to believe that they're viewing Magic not as a collectible card game, but as a collectible card game. Which means it's like the game pieces are like what one might call in other game systems in-game currency. They have value in the game. But they can be you got to spend real world money on it. And they're because that system of microtransactions, and this has been stated before, that is a model that they are following. The microtransactions, that Hasbro and WotC are following to, and this, you saw the whole debacle they had with Dungeons and Dragons about trying to microtransaction Dungeons and Dragons, which doesn't work because the game is not set up to do that, and neither is Magic the Gathering. They're trying to assign value to cards based on their how much people play them, how much people desire them. They're not looking at, and this is something that WotC needs to do, is look at the secondary, one, acknowledge the secondary market for what it is that the cards have real world value attached to them. And they're not just game pieces with in-game monetary value. That you collect certain, you collect lots of these and they have value. That's not how it works. Yes, they've tried to kind of fit in the stuff that other cardboard games have been doing, or like sports card type of collecting, as part of their business model, because yes, it does have that value of like the sports cards. There's certain editions of certain high desire cards do have that, and they're trying again to do that with this Cosmium Neon Ink and Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They're trying to give that chase, that it's the Park Place and Boardwalk of the game, and everybody wants it because that's going to be the card that's going to be the one of one ring. That's super chase, and that's what's going to drive sales, because that's what drives sales of the Monopoly game. You're looking for the boardwalk and the $10 million prize. And that's not how Magic works. That's not how collecting cards works. They have to acknowledge that there has to be scarcity. That's what drives value. That's why the one of one ring worked, because there is only one of them. Yes, the idea of serialized cards is a good thing for card games. It even works kind of in the sports card industry as well. So what I'm saying is we have to have WotC and Hasbro acknowledge that Magic is not a collectible card game, but a collectible card game, which means the collecting comes first for a lot of people, and there are people out there, a lot of collectors that have decided to leave the game because of there's no longer any value, because there's no scarcity. They keep reprinting and reprinting and reprinting, and special editions of this and special editions of that. That's not. The idea is to have less of the cards, not more of them. That's why some of the sales have been driven, because they have the serialized thing. You're only going to get so many of that card. And yes, the serialized might be getting driven into the ground. It's a good idea, but you need to do less of that. Less availability and more focused on the game itself. They don't see it as a game with value. They see it as value with the game. If that makes any sense to you. It's game pieces that are worth money. And it's not like it's real world money. It's like it's in-game currency. But like in other games, even computer games that have the microtransactions, you have stuff that is worth real money. They spend real money on stuff. And even what they don't get is that real money doesn't translate back. So if you sell that stuff, you won't get your your money back. It doesn't have real world value. But these cards do. They have real world value. And that's what WotC and Hasbro has to understand. So I'm going to sip my tea. Still good. And start my breakfast, and we're going to say, hoo-ha, have a great day.